Yo, it's me, it's the SEOTT, and we're continuing our road to 31 on 31 with John Carpenter's The Fog. Came out in 1980 and stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Adrienne Barbeau, Tom Atkins, and of course directed by John Carpenter, the legend, the man, the myth himself. The story goes like this. 100 years before this film takes place, the founders of Antonio Island, they purposely sank a ship and stole their gold. And now 100 years later, the ghosts of the people whose gold was stolen have returned for revenge on those descendants of those who wronged them. So, yes. So, this is the first time watch for me. There's going to be a few. It's your first time watch. You got the Mummy, Invisible Man, Wolf Man, The Birds, Rear Window, The Howling, and this. And, well, there's Brown Legacy. So, yeah. So let's start with the positives. First and foremost, the most important positive, John Carpenter. Him directing this film is a positive for me. He does a great job with the building an atmosphere. He reshot some scenes because I guess it was a 60-minute film, and he reshot some scenes to add more atmosphere and add, just like beef out the runtime, which you can tell that's what it does. But there are some scenes such as Stevie running on the, not watchtower, what is it? The lighthouse. You can tell, that adds to the suspense. Although it doesn't really make sense why they're chasing after her because she's not a descendant of anyone that wronged her. The main descendant we do follow is Father Malone. He's an alcoholic. He finds this journal of his grandfather, who was one of the men who did this. And he eventually finds the gold, and he melted it down into a cross. So, yeah. Tom Atkins. That's another positive. Well, you deal with John Carpenter. The score. The score in this is awesome. You get like the thump kind of boom, boom kind of score, which he would kind of use something similar for The Thing, and you have the main score, which people have compared to Halloween because it is just a little bit similar, but I think it works. And it works very well. It's John Carpenter. He works very well at building suspense, and it works well with the film. Now let's go to the actors. So we have Tom Atkins. That right there is another positive. Unfortunately, he does not have the power of his mustache in this film, so that sucks. We have Jamie Lee Curtis, who, although she's a welcome, part of this, she does feel kind of shoehorned in at a point. She's not even a part of this. She doesn't know anyone. She's a hitchhiker found by Tom Atkins' character, Nick Castle, who is named after Nick Castle, who played Michael Myers in Halloween. But she's hitchhiking and she gets picked up by Nick. They do it! And then she's just on this journey with him as she tries to figure out what happened to the seagrass, which is his boat. Stevie Wayne, played by Adrienne Barbeau, she's great, although she doesn't do much except for stay in her lighthouse. Although she is part of something that is another positive for me. This day and age, 1980, there was no cell phones, not really. So how is she going to contact, Tom Atkins and let him know what's going on? The radio. She's on the radio and she's telling him, if anyone is listening, go to this address. And, why does everybody like to call me while I'm doing the freaking video? All the damn time. People like to call me. Why? Anyhow, the fuck was I saying now? Great, I got distracted. So that's what happens when someone calls you, interrupts your review. You forget what the fuck you're trying to say. Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis. She just sort of goes along with them, and she's interested in it. She doesn't know anyone. She's not related to anyone. She's just there. We have Janet Leigh, who is Jamie Lee Curtis's mother. She's all right in this, but she's accompanied by Nancy Case, or Loomis, whatever you want to call her, who plays her friend or whatever, her helper, whatever. She feels like she's just going through the motions. She's collecting a paycheck. She's very monotone. Much like her performance on Halloween. I'm sorry, I don't think much of this actress. You know, her performance on Halloween was monotone as well. You know, Lindsay, he's barking again and annoying me again, or whatever the line was. You know, getting on my nerves again. Just how she acts, it's not the greatest. That's probably going to be a negative. For the most part, the acting is spot on, so I'm going to put that in the positives. Also, the effects. It's John Carpenter, so like I'm saying, Rob Bottin did the effects, and the effects in this are phenomenal. They're practical, of course, and the fog, they used a fog machine, an actual fog machine, not CGI like the remake. Absolutely wonderful, the effects. You know, any negatives that I have to call? Besides Nancy Loomis, well, not that I can really think of. Well, it does, hold on. It does kind of interest me as to why the ghosts waited 100 years to exact revenge on people who would be dead when they went to do this. Because you think if you're gonna do revenge, you're gonna go after the people who did this directly. And you wait 100 years. In the remake, something was knocked out of the ocean, and that's what started it. And it was 134 years, so it was odd. So it just happened because it was knocked out of the ocean. Here, it's 100 years, and they're celebrating the 100 years, you know, of being in town. So I guess that works, but why didn't they do it at 75, 50, 25, 10? Why didn't they do it at all the other ones? You know, it doesn't really make much sense to me. 100 years, and you go after the descendants of those who wronged you. But wouldn't it be better if you went after the ones that actually wronged you? I think that would be a better, you know, subtle understanding ghosts. But for the most part, I think that's about it. I really enjoyed this film for a first watch. It was a great watch. John Carpenter's man. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Because I really enjoyed it. There are some faults. But it's a decent watch. I recommend it. So let me know in the comments below what you think of The Fog. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one.